Hello to everyone, and this is Dr. Arish Kumar, and the topic is aldehydes and ketones, part 3. So, this particular video lecture is helpful for class 12 chemistry or second PUC chemistry, board, CET, JEE, and NEET examination. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide will give you the information about content of this particular video lecture. So in this, we are discussing about the physical properties. Physical properties, more particularly boiling points, comparison with the alkane and alcohols. We are discussing about the chemical properties of nucleophilic addition reaction, nucleophilic addition and elimination reactions. We are also discussing about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones. We are also discussing about the reduction of aldehydes and ketones. We are also discussing about the reactions of aldehydes due to alpha hydrogen. We are also discussing about the aromatic electrophilic substitution reactions of aldehydes and ketones. We are also discussing about the uses of aldehydes and ketones. With this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide will give you the information about the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So most of the aldehydes are liquid at room temperature except formaldehyde, which is a gas. Lower member of ketones are colorless liquids with a pleasant smell, while higher members of ketones are solids. Aldehydes and ketones have relatively high boiling points as compared to the hydrocarbons of comparable masses due to the presence of polar carbonyl group, which results in a stronger intermolecular dipole-dipole interactions. These dipole-dipole interactions are weaker than the intermolecular hydrogen bonding in alcohol. Hence, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are relatively lower than the alcohols of comparable masses. So let's take an examples. This is one alkane and this is one ether and this is one aldehyde and this one will be the ethyl alcohol. When you are looking into a order, alkane will have a less boiling point compared to ether. Ether will have a less boiling point compared to aldehyde. Aldehyde will have a less boiling point compared to alcohol. So alcohols will have a stronger intermolecular hydrogen bonding. That is the reason alcohols show a high boiling point. And aldehydes will have a strong intermolecular dipole-dipole interaction. That is the reason these aldehydes show higher boiling point compared to ether. Right. And one more, the lower member of aldehydes and ketones such as methanol, ethanol, and propanol are miscible with the water in all proportions. This is due to the formation of hydrogen bond with water. The solubility in water decreases with increase in the size of alkyl groups due to larger nonpolar character. So with this, I will move to the structure of carbonyl compounds. So you can observe that this is the structure of carbonyl compound, and this carbon is sp2 hybridized, and you can also observe that this Cr bond is single bond, Cr bond is single bond, CO bond, this lower one is also a single bond. That means carbonyl compound contain 3 sigma bonds, and these 3 sigma bonds lie on the same plane. And the unhybridized orbitals of carbon and unhybridized orbitals of oxygen overlaps, form a pi bond. The upper one is called pi bond. This is about the structure of carbonyl compounds. So let's look into the chemical properties. Under that, more particularly nucleophilic addition reaction. So you can already, this is a carbonyl compound, this is a carbonyl compound. You can also observe that this is the oxygen, this is the carbon. Oxygen will have a more electronegativity. Because of electronegativity, oxygen always try to attain a negative charge. This is the one. Since oxygen attains a negative charge, then the carbon attains a positive charge. That means carbon is electron deficient one, oxygen is electron rich one. So there will be a transformation of carbonyl compound to this negative charge on oxygen and the positive charge on the carbon. This will be, these two sections are in equilibrium. Because of this property, the electron deficient carbon, the carbon of carbonyl compound is electron deficient. So because of this, all aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. So if we are looking into the mechanistic pathway of nucleophilic addition reaction, so nucleophile means electron-rich species. Electron-rich species can attack this carbon because this carbon is electron deficient, and this bonded pair can place on this oxygen. This will be an intermediate product. This transformation to this intermediate is a slow process. So whereas conversion, this can fix up a proton and convert into a nucleophilic addition product. Okay, this process is called fast process, and this one is a slow process. This is about the nucleophilic addition reaction, more particularly mechanistic pathway. With this, I will go to the next one. It's a relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketone towards the nucleophilic addition. So aldehydes are more reactive. Aldehydes are more reactive compared to the ketone. This is the general formula of ketone. This is the general formula of aldehyde. Aldehydes are more reactive compared to the ketone. This can be explained based on the two factors. The first one is electron releasing effect. So here you can also observe that plus I effect. Plus I means positive inductive effect. So you can observe, suppose AR group is an electron releasing group. This can releases the electron. So based on that, the electron deficient, the magnitude of the deficiency of this carbon decreases. So that is the reason, and that is the case in case of aldehydes. But here you can observe that two electron releasing groups are there. So that is the reason there will be a further decrease in the magnitude of the positive charge on this carbon. So because of this, based on the plus I effect, ketones will have less reactive compared to aldehydes. So if we are looking into the based on the steric factor means, and the bulkiness of the alkyl group hinders the approach of nucleophile to the carbon. This is called hindrance. This is called steric hindrance, which is responsible for the less reactivity of ketone. So based on the, because of this, that means steric hindrance is less in aldehyde, as there is only one alkyl group bonded to the carbonyl carbon. Therefore, nucleophilic attack takes place more easily. Hence, the order of reactivity of carbonyl compound towards the nucleophilic addition reactions is. You can look into that. This is a formaldehyde. Here there is no alkyl group. So that is the reason the formaldehyde is more reactive compared to the aldehyde. Aldehyde is more reactive compared to ketone. This is the order we can take it for the nucleophilic addition reaction. These are the few more examples. So this is called 2-butanone. Here 2 carbons, this is one more carbon. 3 carbon is attached to this carbonyl group. That is the reason this is less reactive compared to the 2-propanone. This 2-propanone is less reactive compared to aldehyde functional group. This is further less reactive compared to ethanol when we are taking this. Similarly, when you are taking aromatic moieties, this is acetophenone. Acetophenone is less reactive compared to the para-tolualdehyde. This para-tolualdehyde is less reactive compared to the benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde is less reactive compared to the para-nitrobenzaldehyde. This nitro group is electron withdrawing group. That is the reason this one is more reactive. This is about the relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketone. With this, I will move to the next one, that is addition reaction of aldehydes and ketones. So let's take the first one, addition reaction with hydrogen cyanide. Hydrogen cyanide means HCN. HCN is a gas. So here I am taking an example. Acetaldehyde, when it is treated with hydrogen cyanide, it undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction forming a acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. How it will form? This CN will attack this carbon and this bonded pair picks up this proton forming acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. This acetaldehyde cyanohydrin on hydrolysis. On hydrolysis, what is happening? There will be a conversion of CN to carboxylic acid. Here nitrogen will go out as a ammonia gas. So acetaldehyde cyanohydrin on hydrolysis gives lactic acid. This is a lactic acid is another important compound. Overall, acetaldehyde on treatment with hydrogen cyanide forms acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. This on further hydrolysis gives lactic acid. When you are taking a ketone like acetone, this acetone undergoes addition, nucleophilic addition reaction with hydrogen cyanide gives rise to acetone cyanohydrin. This is about the addition reaction with hydrogen cyanide to the aldehyde and ketone. With this, I will move to the next one, that is addition reaction with sodium hydrogen sulfide. Sodium hydrogen sulfide means this is sodium, this is hydrogen, and this is sulfide. Addition reactions of aldehyde and ketones with sodium hydrogen sulfide. Let's take a general reaction. General formula of carbonyl compound is RCOR. So this RCOR, and before this, you can observe that sodium hydrogen sulfide in solution forms Na plus and HSO4 minus. So HSO4 minus is a nucleophilic in nature. Na plus is electron deficient species. This nucleophilic nature, HSO4 minus, can attack this carbon, forms this particular intermediate. So this intermediate, there will be a proton transfer. This H will move to this position and Na plus come over here. The formed one is called aldehyde or ketone bisulfate adduct. This is the aldehyde or ketone bisulfate adduct. This will be a general reaction of aldehyde and ketone when it is treated with sodium bisulfate. This is the product formed. Let's look into the example. So here I am taking, instead of R, I am taking CH3, and instead of this R, I am taking H. Then it is called acetaldehyde. This acetaldehyde, when it is treated with sodium hydrogen sulfide, undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction, forming acetaldehyde sodium bisulfate adduct. This is the one. And similarly, when you are taking a ketone, acetone when it is treated with sodium hydrogen sulfide, forming acetone bisulfate adduct. Okay, and these adduct, the obtained adduct, we can convert back into a aldehydes or ketone just by treating with the dilute acid or alkyl. This particular conversion is useful for the separation and the purification of aldehydes. Okay, that means suppose if there is a impure aldehyde or impure ketone is there, then we can convert these impure aldehyde and ketone into a bisulfate adduct. And after converting, when we are converting back this bisulfate to the aldehyde and ketone, we will get it in pure form. And also by doing so, we can also separate it, the unwanted product. That is the advantage of this particular addition reaction with sodium hydrogen sulfide. So with this, I will move to the next one, that is addition reaction with Grignard reaction. Grignard reaction means RMGX is called a Grignard reagent. When this Grignard reagent react with an aldehyde, so here I am taking formaldehyde as an example. So formaldehyde, when it is react with Grignard reagent in presence of ether, gives rise to addition product. How it will form? R minus is the nucleophile. This will attack this carbon, and this bonded pair picks up this MgX, forming an addition product. This addition product on hydrolysis. How hydrolysis takes place? It breaks the bond between the oxygen and nitrogen, forming a primary alcohol. So that means formaldehyde on reaction with Grignard reagent uh, followed by addition, followed by hydrolysis gives primary alcohol. Suppose if we are taking acetaldehyde, this acetaldehyde when is treated with methyl magnesium halide. Methyl magnesium halide is a Grignard reagent. CH3 minus will attack this carbon and this takes a proton, this takes a MgX and forming addition product like this. This on hydrolysis occurs between the breakage of this oxygen and this Mg forming propanol. Okay, and this propanol is a secondary alcohol. That means acetaldehyde when it is react with Grignard reagent followed by hydrolysis gives a propanol. Propanol is a secondary alcohol. Similarly, when we are taking a ketone, the ketone is acetone here. Ketone, when it is treated with Grignard reagent like methyl magnesium iodide, so it gives an addition product. This addition product on hydrolysis gives a tertiary butyl alcohol. So what it means? It means that formaldehyde gives primary alcohol, the acetaldehyde gives secondary alcohol, and ketone gives tertiary alcohol. This is about the nucleophilic addition reaction of Grignard with aldehydes and ketone. With this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide will give you the information about the nucleophilic addition and also a elimination reactions. This nucleophilic addition and elimination reaction with alcohol. So here, what is the product form? The product form is acetal. Acetal will have a general structure like this. So that means here I am taking an aldehyde. When an aldehyde is treated with alcohol, this is the general formula of alcohol in presence of dry HCl. So dry HCl means there won't be moisture, there won't be water. It's a pure HCl gas. So what is forming? Forming an intermediate. The intermediate is called hemiacetal. How it will form? So you know that this hydroxy group is nucleophilic in nature, electron rich species. This can attack this electron deficient carbon and this can picks up proton from the HCl. So forming hemiacetal. This hemiacetal further reacts with one more alcohol in presence of dry HCl, giving rise to acetal. This is a general reaction of aldehyde when it is treated with alcohol in presence of HCl gives acetal. So let's take an example. Here I am taking acetaldehyde. So when an acetaldehyde is treated with methanol in presence of dry HCl gives this particular one. This CH3O is called methoxy group. CH3CHO is called ethanol. Methoxyethanol is the hemiacetal obtained. This methoxyethanol, when it is treated with methanol in presence of dry HCl, gives this particular acetal. So how we can name? This is one methyl, this is another methyl. So that is the reason dimethyl acetal is the product obtained. With this, I will go to one more example. So here I am taking a ketone. This is a acetone I am taking. And ethanol is the monohydric alcohol. Ethylene glycol is the dihydric alcohol. So that means acetone does not react with monohydric alcohol, but acetone react with dihydric alcohol such as ethylene glycol in presence of dry HCl forms a cyclic ketone. This cyclic ketone. So overall, ketone forms a ketol, acetaldehyde forms a acetal with the alcohol in presence of dry HCl. And again, the obtained acetal or ketone is also possible to convert it back into aldehydes and ketone with the aqueous mineral acid. So that is the, here I am taking an acetal. Acetal, when it is treated with water in presence of HCl, gets converted into aldehyde. This particular method also useful in organic synthesis. So with this, I will move to the next one, nucleophilic addition and elimination reaction with ammonia. So in this, the product formed one is imines. So let us take an example. This is a general reaction of aldehyde or ketone. When it is treated with amine, so there will be a formation of C double bond NH. This is called uh, imine, aldimine or ketamine. So if you are taking an aldehyde, you will get aldamine. If you are taking a ketone, you will get ketamine. So here water is eliminated. So let's take an example. Acetaldehyde is the example. Acetaldehyde, when it is treated with ammonia, it gives acetaldehyde imine with the elimination of water. How it will form? 2H2 and O will go out as a water. With this, I will go to the next slide. So next slide, reaction of aldehyde with primary amines. Here, the formed product is also called as skip base. So let's take a general reaction of aldehyde. This is a general formula. Aldehyde reacts with amine. So this H2 and O will go out as a water, and there will be a new bond formation between the C double bond N, forming a aldamine. So if we are looking into the example, this is the benzaldehyde and this is the aniline. Benzaldehyde reacts with aniline on heating, gives rise to benzol imine. This general name of this particular one is skip base. So, and there will be a removal of or eliminating water molecule. This is about the example. If you are taking a general reaction of ketone, this ketone react with primary amine giving rise to ketamine. This is the one. So example, you can instead of CH3, one can take methyl or propyl, ethyl, butyl, something like that. So overall, ketamine is obtained. So overall, aldehydes and ketones react with primary amine, gives rise to imine compound. These imine compounds is called skip base. With this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide is the reaction of an aldehyde and ketone with hydroxylamine. Hydroxylamine means NH2OH containing compounds are called hydroxylamine, and the product formed is called oxime, and the oxime means this is the one. So here I am taking an aldehyde. This is a general reaction. Aldehyde, when it is treated with hydroxylamine, it forms an aldoxime. This is the one. Here also H2 and O will go out as a eliminated as a water. So example, acetaldehyde when it is treated with hydroxylamine on heating gives acetaldoxime. So here water is eliminated. So and then let's take general reaction of ketone. This ketone when it is treated with hydroxylamine, so it will give a ketamine. So here also H2 and O will go out as a eliminated and as a water. This is a general reaction. And if we are looking into the particular example, this is acetone. Acetone, when it is treated with hydroxylamine, giving rise to acetoxime. Okay. This is about the reaction of an aldehyde or ketone with hydroxylamine. It gives the formation of oximes. Okay. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide, the reaction of aldehydes and ketones with hydrazine. So the product formed is hydrazone. This is a general reaction. An aldehyde is treated with hydrazine on heating, gives aldehyde hydrazone. So with the elimination of water. Here also H2 and O will go out as a water. So this is an example. Acetaldehyde react with hydrazine forming acetaldehyde hydrazone. So this will be a general reaction. Ketone. A ketone is treated with hydrazine forming a ketone hydrazone. Okay. And the example, a acetone is taken. Acetone treated with hydrazine giving rise to acetone hydrazone. So overall, aldehyde or ketone react with hydrazine forming aldehyde hydrazone or ketone hydrazone. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide will give you the information about reaction of an aldehyde or ketone with phenyl hydrazine giving rise to aldehyde phenyl hydrazone or ketone phenyl hydrazone as a product. This is the one aldehyde. So this aldehyde, when it is treated with phenyl hydrazine, this group is called phenyl and this is hydrazine, giving rise to aldehyde phenyl hydrazone as the product, and this is the precipitate and this is the solid is obtained and water is eliminated. Okay. So if we are taking an example, acetaldehyde is treated with phenyl hydrazine on heating, gives rise to acetaldehyde phenyl hydrazone. A solid is obtained, water is goes out. And if we are looking at a general reaction of ketone with phenyl hydrazine, giving rise to ketone phenyl hydrazone, it's a solid is obtained with the elimination of water. When you are taking an example, acetone treated with phenyl hydrazine, giving rise to acetyl phenyl hydrazone. Overall, in this reaction of nucleophilic reaction of aldehydes and ketone with phenyl hydrazine gives rise to aldehyde phenyl hydrazone or ketone phenyl hydrazone as a precipitate or solids. So with this, I will go to the next one. So the reaction of an aldehyde or ketone with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine. This is the 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine is the reagent used to test whether the given compound is aldehyde or ketone based on the product formation. The product formed one is the orange red precipitate. Okay, orange red precipitate is obtained. So let's take an aldehyde. When this aldehyde, when it is treated with 2,4-dinitrophenyl hydrazine, it gives an orange-red precipitate. The formation of orange-red precipitate indicates that the given compound may be aldehyde. The orange-red precipitate is because of this structure. Okay, what is happening? H2 and O will go out as a water, forming a new bond between this carbon-carbon double bond with the nitrogen, forming this aldehyde 2,4-DMP. Example, acetaldehyde is taking acetaldehyde treated with 2,4-DMP and giving rise to acetaldehyde 2,4-DMP as a orange-red precipitate. Okay, with this I will go to I will take a general example, general reaction of ketone. This ketone, when it is treated with 2,4-DMP, gives rise to ketone 2,4-DMP, a orange-red precipitate, giving rise to water as eliminated. So if we are taking an acetone example, acetone is treated with 2,4-DMP, giving rise to acetone 2,4-DMP as orange-red precipitate. So with this, I will go to the next slide. The next slide will give you the information about reaction of an aldehyde or ketone with semicarbazide. Semicarbazide means NH2CONH. NH2 is called semicarbazide. And here you can observe that this amino group is involved in the conjugation with, in the conversion with amido-enol formation. That is the reason this nitrogen, it won't react with this carbonyl group, but this nitrogen only react with carbonyl group, forming this particular aldehyde semicarbazone, okay, with the liberation of water. So when we are taking an example, acetaldehyde react with semicarbazide on heating, gives rise to acetaldehyde semicarbazone. Okay, similarly, this will be a general reaction of ketone. A ketone is treated with semicarbazide on heating, gives rise to ketone semicarbazone with the elimination of water. So let's take an example, acetone. Acetone, when it is treated with semicarbazide, this particular nitrogen react with this, forming acetone semicarbazone. So this is about the reaction of aldehyde and ketone with semicarbazide. Semicarbazide is this is the one. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketone. Also, oxidation means addition of oxygen, removal of hydrogen, and then removal of electron. That is the thing you need to remember. And here, an aldehyde. Okay, this is an aldehyde. Aldehyde react with acidified potassium dichromate, converts it into carboxylic acid. So what is happening here? Here there will be an addition of oxygen. When we are adding oxygen to this aldehyde, it gets converted into carboxylic acid. This process is called oxidation. Aldehydes undergoes oxidation in presence of acidified potassium dichromate, forming carboxylic acid. This is a general reaction. So when we are looking into the example, acetaldehyde, when it is treated with acidified potassium dichromate, gives acetic acid. So similarly, one more example, this is a benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde, when it is treated with alkaline potassium permanganate, gives benzoic acid. With this, I will go to the next slide. So next slide is about the reaction of an aldehyde or ketone with the Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent is called ammoniacal silver nitrate. Ammoniacal silver nitrate means AgNH3 twice NO3 minus is called the Tollens reagent. This aldehydes reduces the Tollens reagent to Ag. Ag is nothing but a silver mirror. Okay, and then this aldehyde itself undergoes oxidizes to carboxylic acid. So that means aldehydes on reaction with the Tollens reagent reduces the Tollens reagent to silver mirror and itself undergoes convert into a carboxylic acid. This is about the reaction of an aldehyde with Tollens reagent. And the example is acetaldehyde I am taking. When an acetaldehyde is treated with ammoniacal silver mirror, a carboacetic acid is obtained with the formation of silver mirror. The silver mirror formation, it's because of the formation of silver metal. This is the thing. So let's go to the next one, that is reaction of an aldehyde, more particularly alkyl halides, means aliphatic aldehydes react with Fehling solution. Fehling solution is nothing but a alkaline cupric tartarate solution, and also react with Benedict solution. Benedict solution means alkaline cupric citrate. Okay, that means alkyl aldehydes react with Fehling solution as well as Benedict solution gives rise to red precipitate of cuprous oxide. So red precipitate of cuprous oxide means Cu2O. So what is happening? Cu plus reagent is converted into C plus. That means reduction of cupric to cuprous, converting cupric to cuprous. That's because of red precipitate formation. That means aldehydes, alkyl halides reduces the Fehling solution as well as the Benedict solution to the red precipitate, and aldehydes itself undergoes oxidized to carboxylic acid. This is about the uh, reaction of alkyl halides with Fehling solution and Benedict solution, and this will be a general reaction. When you are taking an example, acetic acid react with Fehling solution or Benedict solution, it gives uh, acetic acid. Okay, and then red precipitate, that is cuprous oxide with the liberation of water. With this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide is about oxidation of ketones, and here the ketones requires a drastic condition to undergo oxidation. So what is happening? There will be a breakage on either side of the carbonyl group, leads to the formation of carboxylic acid, and the obtained carboxylic acids having a lesser carbon atom compared to the parent ketone. Okay, how it will break? It can break at this position and convert this carbon to carboxylic acid, and this is also a carboxylic acid. Otherwise, it can also break at this position, convert this carbon to carboxylic acid, and this CO to COOH group. This is about the general reaction. So when we are taking a particular example like acetone, acetone when it is treated with concentrated HNO3, concentrated HNO3 is an oxidizing agent. It breaks at this position and converts CH3COOH, one moiety, and then converts this CH3 into COOH group, means formic acid. So that means acetone undergoes oxidation in presence of concentrated HNO3, giving rise to acetic acid and formic acid. The obtained formic acid further oxidizes to carbon dioxide and water. That means C double bond O will form as a carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a gas and it will go out. Water is a liquid. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide is about the haloform reaction. Haloform reaction means conversion of ketonic group. This is CO group and methyl group. Methyl ketone, this is called methyl ketone. A methyl ketone, when it is treated with halogen in presence of base, giving rise to sodium carboxylate, and with the formation of precipitate called iodoform. CH3 high is called iodoform, and this is a yellow colored precipitate. A yellow colored precipitate is formed. So this will be the test for methyl ketones. Okay, that means methyl ketone undergoes haloform reaction. Haloform reagent is iodine and NaOH. Converts a methyl ketone into sodium carboxylate, and yellow precipitate iodoform is formed. This is called iodoform reaction. Okay, right. If you are taking an example, acetone. Acetone reacts with sodium hydroxide in presence of iodine. On warming, it gives sodium acetate plus yellow crystals of CH3 iodoform is formed. So this iodoform test also given by CH3CO containing functional group. It also gives CH3CHOH containing functional group also gives haloform reaction. So overall haloform reaction, a ketone, methyl ketone is converted into carboxylic acid with the formation of yellow precipitate called iodoform. So with this, I will move to the next slide. Next slide is about the reduction of aldehydes and ketone. So this is an aldehyde. So when this is reduces, it converts a aldehydic functional group into alcoholic functional group. This will be the general reaction. And the reducing agents are called sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride, or maybe a hydrogen, catalytic hydrogenation. Catalytic hydrogenation means nickel or palladium used in catalytic amount. Hydrogen is the source, it supplies hydrogen, convert a C double bond to COH. This is the thing. So this is a general reaction, and when we are taking an example, this is a formaldehyde. Formaldehyde, when it is subjected to catalytic hydrogenation, forms a methanol. Methanol is a liquid. This is a gas. So let's take one more example. This is a general reaction of ketone. Ketone, when it is treated with sodium borohydride or lithium borohydride or hydrogenation in presence of catalytic amount, convert into a secondary alcohol. So that means ketone on reduction gives secondary alcohol, aldehydes on reduction with gives primary alcohol. That is the thing you need to remember. So let's take an example of ketone, that is acetone. Acetone, when it is reduced with lithium aluminum hydride supplies hydrogen. Hydrogen H minus will attack this carbon. This takes a proton, forming a isopropanol. This is also called as 2-propanol. This is about the reduction of alcohol, reduction of aldehydes and ketones to alcohol. So here a carbonyl compound is also converted into a hydrocarbon, and this is called reduction of aldehydes and ketones to hydrocarbon. So here there will be a name reaction, and Clemmensen is a scientist. Using Clemmensen reduction, one can convert a carbonyl compound to hydrocarbon. So here the reagent, Clemmensen reagent, is called zinc amalgam in presence of concentrated HCl. So zinc amalgam in presence of concentrated HCl. So this zinc amalgam supplies electron, this HCl supplies proton. Overall convert C double bond O to 2H is coming over here. So hydrocarbon is obtained. So this is an example. Acetone is converted into propane when it is treated with zinc amalgam in presence of concentrated HCl. One more method is called Wolff-Kishner reduction. This is also a conversion of an aldehyde or ketone to a hydrocarbon. How means an aldehyde or ketone is treated with hydrazine. It undergoes nucleophilic addition and elimination reaction forming hydrogen. This the obtained hydrogen when it is treated with sodium hydroxide in presence of ethylene glycol, it gives hydrocarbon. So this is the one. This is a ketone, and this ketone when it is treated with hydrogen gives hydrogen. This hydrogen when it is treated with base in ethylene glycol is a solvent. On heating, this one nitrogen and two nitrogen will go out as a nitrogen gas, and this H2 will come over here forming hydrocarbon. Suppose if you are taking an example of benzaldehyde, react with the hydrogen forming a phenyl hydrazone. This phenyl hydrazone, when it is treated with base sodium hydroxide in presence of ethylene glycol and heating, there will be a liberation of nitrogen gas. This N and this N will go out as a hydrogen gas, and there will be a new bond formation between this carbon and hydrogen, this carbon and hydrogen. That is nothing but a toluene is obtained. This is about the reduction. And with this, let's go to the next kind of reaction, that is reaction of aldehydes and ketones. The aldehydes and ketones containing alpha hydrogen. What is alpha hydrogen? You can observe that this is a ketone functional group. Adjacent to this ketone functional group, if there is a carbon, then that carbon is called alpha carbon. If that carbon is contains a hydrogen, then it is called alpha hydrogen. That means carbonyl compounds containing alpha hydrogens. So these alpha hydrogens are acidic in nature. Why it is acidic in nature? Because of this carbonyl group, this hydrogen becomes acidic. Once it's become acidic, one can remove this as a proton with the help of strong base. So when with the help of strong base, when we are removing this hydrogen, forms an anion. This anion can come over here, and this can fix up this sodium. So overall, the anion is stabilized by resonance. And this anion can come over here. This can attack a carbonyl deficient carbon. So then there will be a new bond formation between the carbon and carbon. So such kind of reactions are called aldol condensation. Aldol condensation means, so you can observe that this is one aldehyde, this is also an aldehyde. So since this aldehyde contains alpha hydrogen, there will be a formation of anion. This anion can react with this carbon, forming, there will be a new bond formation between this carbon and this carbon, forming a compounds like this. You can observe that this is aldehyde group and this is alcohol group. That is the reason this kind of products is called aldol products. Okay, how this aldol is obtained? By the self-condensation of aldehydes, more particularly aldehydes containing alpha hydrogen. So that means alpha hydrogen containing aldehydes undergoes self-condensation in presence of base, giving rise to aldol products. Okay, this is an aldehyde taking. When we are taking aldehyde example, we can also take a ketone. This is also a ketone. This is a ketone functional group, and this contains alpha hydrogen. This also contains alpha hydrogen. So this alpha hydrogen forms an anion. This anion can attack this carbonyl group, convert a C double bond O to OH. Okay, so this is also a formed aldol product only. And when it comes to a IUPAC name, so this will be a functional group. This is 1, 2, 3. So then 3-hydroxy butanol is the IUPAC name. So when it comes to here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-hydroxy pentanol is the 4-methyl 4-hydroxy pentanol is the IUPAC name of this one. And these two products are the aldol products. Okay, aldol condensation is important. How you can say that a alpha hydrogen containing carbonyl compounds undergoes self condensation in presence of base, giving rise to aldol product. The obtained aldols undergoes dehydration, removal of water. How it will go? So one hydrogen from here and the OH from here. This bond pair come over here, forms a double bond, and this OH will go out, forming an alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. This is a carbonyl compound, and this position is alpha, this position is beta. Alpha beta double bond unsaturated carbonyl compounds are obtained. This alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds are very much useful in organic synthesis. Similarly, this ketaldehyde one is H, OH will go out. This bond pair is coming over, forming a double bond here, and this is the one is unsaturated unsaturated carbonyl compounds are the ultimate products of aldol condensation. With this, I will go to the next one. It's a cross aldol condensation. Cross aldol condensation means aldol condensation between the two different aldehyde, aldol condensation between the two ketone, aldol condensation between the one aldehyde and one ketone gives an alpha beta unsaturated compounds, and these particular reactions are called crossed aldol condensation. So you can observe that this is one acetaldehyde, this is propanaldehyde. So there will be anion formation. This can attack this carbon group and forming a product like this. Another way, here there will be anion formation. This can attack this carbonyl group, forming this kind of product. So overall, two different products are possible under crossed aldol condensation. And similarly, one aldehyde and one ketone. So in this case, this does not contain alpha hydrogen, but this contain an alpha hydrogen. And here there will be anion formation, and this will attack this carbonyl compound, forming an unsaturated compound. This is the thing. So this is about the crossed aldol condensation. And one more thing, a specific reaction is called Cannizzaro reaction. What is Cannizzaro reaction? So you can observe that this is one aldehyde group, and this is a functional group. Adjacent to this is called alpha carbon, and here there is alpha carbon, but there is no hydrogens here. So that means a carbonyl compounds containing no alpha hydrogen undergoes oxidation and reduction, undergoes self-oxidation and reduction in presence of 50% sodium hydroxide, giving rise to a alcohol, primary alcohol, and a salt of carboxylic acid. This reaction is called Cannizzaro reaction. This is also an example of disproportionation reaction. So that means aldehydes or ketone containing no alpha hydrogen undergoes self-oxidation and reduction in presence of base, giving rise to alcohol as well as the carboxylic acid, and such type of reactions are called Cannizzaro reaction. Examples is, where you can observe that this is a formaldehyde and this is the functional group, and there is no alpha carbon here and there is no alpha hydrogen. So this kind of moieties undergo Cannizzaro reaction. How they undergo Cannizzaro reaction? So one, this is called, this H along with bonded pair is called hydride. This hydride can attack this carbon, convert into a alcohol. And other way, this OH minus can attack aldehyde, forms a carboxylic acid. So that is the thing. So that means hydride, the hydride means H, 2 electron is called hydride. Hydride can attack this carbonyl electron deficient one, forms an alcohol. Methanol is the product. And OH minus can attack this carbonyl group and forms a sodium formate. That is how the alcohol as well as the carboxylate. Alcohol is the reduction one and the carboxylate is the oxidized one. So that is how a carbonyl compound with no alpha hydrogen undergoes oxidation, gives carboxylic acid, and undergoes reduction, gives an alcohol. So it's a disproportionate reaction. So let's take one more example, a benzaldehyde. Here also there is no alpha hydrogen. This also undergoes self-oxidation and reduction in presence of base, giving rise to benzyl alcohol and potassium benzoate. This is also an example of Cannizzaro reaction. These two examples are the Cannizzaro reaction. So with this, I will go to the next one, aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction of aldehydes and ketones. This is an aromatic aldehyde. So you know that this CHO group is the electron withdrawing group. So because of this electron withdrawing nature, it directs the incoming electrophile to the third position. It's also called as meta position, and the obtained one is 3-nitrobenzoaldehyde. That means aromatic aldehydes or ketones undergoes electrophilic substitution. It directs the incoming group to the third position, and this position is called meta position, and the obtained one is called 3-nitrobenzoaldehyde. And this is an example of nitration. Nitration is an example of aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. So with this, I will go to the next slide. Next slide will give you the information about the uses of aldehydes and ketone. Formaldehyde used in the manufacture of bakelite and also used in the resins and other polymers. A 40% solution of the formaldehyde is called formalin, and this formalin is used to preserve the biological specimen. Benzaldehyde is used in the manufacture of perfumery industry and is also used in the manufacture of cinnamaldehyde and also cinnamic acid, and it's also used in the drugs, it's also used in the dyes and also as a flavoring agent. Acetone is a ketone, it is used as an industrial solvent and one of the ingredients of liquid nail polish. So with this, I will go to the conclusion. So in this video lecture, we discussed about the physical properties of aldehydes and ketone. We also discussed about the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketone, more particularly a nucleophilic addition reaction and also a nucleophilic addition and elimination reaction. We discussed about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketone. We discussed about the reduction of aldehydes and ketone. We discussed about the reduction reactions due to alpha hydrogen containing carbonyl compounds. We also discussed about the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction of aldehydes and ketones. And also we discussed about the uses of aldehydes and ketone. With this, I will say thank you. Please subscribe for more updates.